Hey y'all, I'm Brooke Hoover, a Louisiana native, actor, writer, and comedian. I've lost 100 pounds through diet and exercise, or shall I say, lifestyle changes. My 20-year and counting health journey has taught me that just like taking a diet pill for weight loss, body positivity doesn't magically happen overnight. I'm working on regaining my self-esteem and rekindling my love affair with Cajun and Southern comfort food in a healthier way, all the while juggling eating as clean as I can, reestablishing myself in the entertainment industry, which, as we know, is historically fat-phobic, all the while showing my inner fat girl some love. That's fat with a PH. Pretty hot and tempting. Let me tell y'all a tale or two.
Hey, everybody. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Who's Dat Fat Girl podcast. And I'm Brooke, and today we have a special guest. It's my boyfriend, Harry, as the dogs call him. Hey, say hey.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone, he says.
I'm excited to be here.
He is excited to be here. So just come a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Like this one. Come a little bit closer. You're my kind of woman. So man, so big. You know that song. You're my kind of man. So big and so strong. That's a good song. So we are talking today about body confidence and also about comfort foods. So, Harry, as many of you guys know who know us and who follow me on Instagram, and if you don't know this, Harry is a slender Indian man with a bald head, and he's about, he says 5'8". There's room for discussion on that. I actually told Harry in front of a lady the other day, I was like, I'm taller than you. And the lady goes, that's mean. And I said, it's not mean. It's true. It's not like I was using any sort of body size to body or short shame Harry, because he's not short, and it's just true. I'm a little bit taller than Harry. I mean, I've got big hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So, and my whole thing is I want to, get this out there right out in the open. When Harry met me, I was much bigger. And when I was manifesting, the love of my life, if you will, I was saying to God, I know this I'm saying talking like, oh, pretentious, because it does sound pretentious to talk like that. But I mean, I do it. And I'm sure many people who are listening to this podcast do it, because if you're in the health and wellness realm, that's how we roll. We're just always trying to do better and feel better and be better. So I was saying, I want a man to know and love and accept me for the size I am right now. And I found exactly that. Oh, you want to talk?
Yeah. It's, it's not the size. It's, when I was growing up, I've always been skinny. I weighed like 99 pounds. Until about high school, I was 105 pounds. And always fear if I'm ever going to be able to meet a woman. Oh,
I'm sorry to laugh. Okay.
But you know what? I've maintained my weight always.
Oh. I didn't see it going that direction.
I've always had fears that I might grow up, to be just like my dad. I mean, my dad was 300 pounds.
How tall was your dad?
6'2". But you know what? So far, I've maintained my weight. It's basically my eating habits.
How do you maintain your weight? Because you're not scrawny anymore. I would say you're slender and you're on par, according to the Surgeon General, if you will, because, I mean, I believe anybody could be any shape or size as long as, their blood work numbers and everything is healthy, and you are. But how do you maintain your body and your current status, I guess, with your blood work?
I eat in small portions, and I try to stay away from, I used to be a heavy drinker, and I stopped drinking. And now I basically eat small portions, maybe 3 times a day. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm still skinny. I maintain my weight, and I feel healthy. My blood work always comes out good.
Thank you, God.
I'm not on medication of any sort at this age. So everyone out there, please, just eating. I mean, when you get hungry, but still, please eat in small portions.
And Harry said, please. So when he says please, that really means,
Yeah.
damn it.
You're going to
you know.
eat 3 times a day. You know what? Just eat in small portions. And it's good for your health, maintain you, to be better, healthier person.
Yes. So that kind of took all sorts of turns, and I did not cut in or interrupt because, I'm working on that. So that was good. So something I want to ask you, Harry, is that you said you were scrawny. So you said you were worried you weren't going to meet a woman. And what I was laughing at is not that you said you were scrawny. I was kind of chuckling at the fact that you're like, I was worried I wasn't going to meet a woman.
Yeah.
But, clearly you did. I mean, you've met plenty of women before me, and I don't say it like that. I mean, you've met women before me. But tell us about, maybe, we are all learning about my experience during high school and growing up and in college with my size and the changing of my size. Do you have any particular memories from high school or college with your size that...
Yeah, I mean, I was shy in the first place when I was even in high school.
Classic. Shy, skinny kid.
Yeah, skinny
classic.
kid. Yeah,
loud, outspoken, chubby girl.
And,
classic. We're so basic.
And most of the guys in my class, they were all like jocks.
Yeah, of course. Jersey jocks at that.
Jocks,
oh, yoy.
So
my favorite type of person.
So, I mean, most of the women, girls, they were attracted to them.
The girls, yeah.
So it's okay. I didn't lose too much. I've found this woman next to me.
Yes. I'm trying to get you to say girl instead of woman, because the way you say girl is the
this
way we
girl
say
right
Gil.
here.
See, he says girl. Like I always say Gil, and I force it. He naturally says Gil like that, girl. Yeah. So something I wanted to also comment on is, a lot of times, if you hear a little scratching, Annie's making a nest and checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty or nice. You oftentimes will see a larger man or a schlubby kind of guy, type, if you will, on TV with a hot, sexy woman.
Yeah.
So you'll see like King of Queens, Leah Remini with, oh my gosh, Kevin James. Peggy and Al Bundy, kind of schlubby man with a little pot beer belly and, sexy wife, Peggy Bundy. Marge and Homer Simpson. But I don't know. I can't think of anything offhand. And people listening, if y'all want to, tell me, private message me, slide into the DMs and let me know. Can anybody think of a hot, sexy, plus size Gil with a hot, sexy man? I can't really think of that. Like, for instance, like me, just like a normal, looking kind of Gil. Harry might think I'm beautiful. I think I'm just kind of, I'm
she is
average.
She is beautiful.
I mean, thank you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm talking about Hollywood. I should have said that. So Hollywood, I'm just kind of like average Jane, if you will, like Midwest, like shows I'm right for are like Shameless, Ozark, that kind of thing. Could you see me with Zac Efron? Would they ever pair us up in a romantic relationship, me and Zac Efron? I don't know why I picked Zac Efron off the top of my head as a hot guy. But no, you wouldn't, because they don't do that. They don't do that, But, I say we need to change the shape of Hollywood. Right. Oh, pun intended. Yeah. That was a good one. I didn't plan for that. We need to change the shape of Hollywood and show all different types of couples together. Right. All different types, and I don't just mean big and small. I mean, different ethnicities. I mean, different genders, everything. So let's change that. And also about the portion size, and, you were worried about being your dad's size. I think, certain things are genetic. Certain things are how you handle your environment. Right. And I think you kind of worked with both. Yeah. I think also, sadly, I never met your parents because they're in heaven. But I think you inherited more of your mother's genes.
Yes, I
Mama
did.
G's genes.
Yeah. I did. I did.
Yeah. So I hope the sound is okay, guys, because Annie is going to town with that scratching. She clearly is getting a little verklempt about us talking about Hollywood and size, because Annie is what they call a throwback Pomeranian. And Mommy used to think throwback Pomeranian meant, I'm going to throw that Pomeranian back. I don't like her. No, it means throw back to like back in the day when Pomeranians were a bit stockier in stature. That's my favorite kind of Pom. Anyways, so thank you for talking about body positivity with me. I think, that men don't talk about it enough.
Right.
Men just seem to naturally be a little bit more, I am fine, because society says,
Right.
men, you have to be fine with things, and women, you have to also be fine with things too, and you got to look fine until the day you die.
Right.
And I say we got to shake and change all that. Even some of the lingo that we meaning me and you, probably tell ourselves just based on societal training.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that pretentious societal training? It's not the best way to behave going into the future,
Exactly.
But let's flip it and start talking about some other stuff. We're going to talk about comfort food and food, because that's something else. Wow, Harry says, wow.
My favorite.
Your favorite food. But remember, small portions.
Small portions.
Hey, the big boy, small portions. Yeah. So, Harry, what was your favorite, food growing up? Or, a favorite food memory?
My mom making bitter melons.
Bitter melons.
Yeah.
Karela, right?
Karela. And she used to make it, she used to fry them, very little oil in it, and then saute some onions on the side separately. And we would have it.
What was the seasoning?
Seasoning, different spices, cumins, coriander, salt, pepper.
Was there any sweetness, mango, garam masala, anything like that?
No.
Because bitter melon, it is
bitter. And she would also put, after she would fry them, she would put mango powder.
Mango powder, okay. Top. Yeah, that sounds good, because bitter melon, if you've ever cooked it without knowing how to cook it I have, it's horrible. It's bitter.
Yeah.
And it's not a melon. It looks more like a squash. Like a squash with a lot of warts, like a witchy zucchini. Yeah. But it's also very good for diabetes.
Right.
So what's a food that I cook that you really like?
Breakfast burrito.
Breakfast burrito.
I love that.
You answer that very distinctly.
I love that.
Yes. I usually use a low-carb tortilla wrap, a keto-friendly wrap.
And it's not only for Saturday or Sunday breakfast. It's everyday breakfast. I love it.
Everyday breakfast. Yeah. That's right. Or sometimes we don't really eat dinner. We don't eat past 3:00 because we're senior citizens. But it's a good anytime, because we add a lot of vegetables up in there.
Yeah. You might be a senior citizen, but I'm still growing.
Okay, yeah, you're a growing boy, and I'm a senior citizen. Yeah, right. If I could be one of the fifth golden girl for the rest of my life, I would be very happy with that. Get me to Miami, and I'll play canasta. Oh, I just hit the mic. Sorry, microphone. And have cheesecake all day, especially if it's the vegan cream cheese king cake, not king cake, especially if it's the vegan cream cheese king cake that I mentioned a couple episodes ago, because it's much healthier for you than regular cheesecake, because a lot of that cream cheese will just sit up in your stomach and do crazy things to your GI tract. And by your, I mean my.
Yeah.
TMI, but c'est la vie, right?
Yeah.
You know it all too well. So, Harry, what is the favorite food that my mom cooks that you like? I know there's a lot.
There's a lot. I mean, I love her mom's cooking. I mean, everything she makes. I mean, it's the best. But my two of my favorite ones, jambalaya.
Yes.
And gumbo.
And gumbo. Yeah, Mama doesn't make gumbo too much.
Well, she made once or twice.
Yeah. Didn't you have gumbo back home in Louisiana, though?
I had gumbo at the LSU campus with the Brooks family.
The Chimes.
At Chimes. And it was gumbo with the alligator.
Yeah, alligator gumbo.
I loved it. That was the best gumbo I've ever had.
Did you feel like you were eating a wild beast?
No, it felt like chicken.
It tastes just like chicken. Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
It was delicious.
Okay. So, Harry, as we know, my mama loves to eat pizza
Yeah.
pizza and bagels as her favorite New York foods. What are
Right.
some of your favorite kind of New Yorky foods? Like I'm in the city.
Yeah.
I want to eat some food. What do you want to eat? Come a little bit closer for our
Um,
video friends. What are some of your favorite New York foods?
I would like the Irish pub food.
Yeah.
Fish and chips.
Yeah,
Sliders.
sliders. Okay,
Yeah.
that's news to me.
You
What
know,
about shepherd's pie? Because I made you a healthier version of shepherd's pie once. Remember, with ground turkey and mashed cauliflower? You like that.
Yeah, I like that, but
Shepherd's pie is good.
Yeah, with ice cold beer.
Ice cold, but you had just told everybody that you used to be a heavy drinker and you quit drinking.
Yeah, I know.
You cut back.
I
There's a
cut
big
back.
difference,
I occasionally I will still have
Yeah.
a drink or two.
Right.
That's it.
But you're more mindful of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Same as with eating habits,
Yes,
that you get to a
absolutely.
healthy mindfulness
Yeah.
and when you've had,
Yeah.
sorry, microphone had your
Yeah.
limit, and when you've gone overboard.
Right.
Word. So let's see. Are there any other favorite Southern foods that you might have that we didn't talk about? Any favorite Southern foods? Or we talked about kind of Cajun foods that you like, but favorite foods, like I've told you the difference between, there's a big difference between Cajun food and Southern food.
Well, I mean,
I'll give you a hint. Sometimes we have to drive far to get the food. Biscuits and gravy.
oh, biscuits and gravy. Biscuits and gravy, which I love.
Yeah.
I love biscuits and gravy. I mean, I never had it till, when was it?
It was, let's see, the film festival, the Northeast Georgia Mountain Film
Yeah,
Festival
in Atlanta.
2019.
In Atlanta?
Well, it was the outskirts of
Atlanta, yeah.
So it was in
Yeah, that's
near
where we
Dillard,
had,
Georgia.
Yeah, Dillard, Georgia.
But you had
That's where we had, yeah.
North Carolina.
And it was delicious. I fell in love with it.
We still have yet to eat chocolate gravy, so one day I think we'll have to try
Yeah,
chocolate gravy.
right.
Our friend Arlie was telling us tales about that.
Yeah.
So, any other favorite Southern foods that you have? Or that's about it. I know
that's
you
about
love pralines. That again,
Oh,
that's a
pralines.
Cajun.
I'm
That's
not
a Cajun and Creole food. That's more of a
Yeah.
confection than it
Yeah.
is a food.
I'm not a big sweet person, but
But
a little bit of pralines.
you love those.
Yeah.
Because you love pecans.
Pecans,
That's
yeah.
and luckily pralines are made with pecans, and
Yeah.
pecans is like the one nut that you're not allergic to.
That's right.
Other than me, because
yeah.
I'm a big nut.
Yeah.
So Harry, what are some of your favorite food memories with me? Like things we've done that have involved food.
One night we were in bed watching television, and like around 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
and I was craving for some Indian sweets.
Yes.
So I said, Brooke, we got to go and get some milk cake
Cake.
or burfi.
Burfi. So describe milk cake. Milk cake is a
It's
square
basically
milk.
Basically milk. It's, you got to keep on stirring it for about 2 hours
Oh.
long. And it's so delicious. It's cut into small pieces.
Is there a sugar in it? And
very
what's the
little sugar.
consistency? Is it
Sugar
like
and-
toffee, taffy, or trina, or tiramisu? Like what's the consistency?
Tiramisu.
So it's squishy.
Yeah, it's squishy.
It's
And
not like a praline?
No, it's not praline.
Okay, so it's squishy.
Yeah, praline is too sweet compared to milk cake.
Praline is sweeter than milk
Yeah,
cake.
much
You
sweeter.
say too sweet. You
Much
love
sweeter.
pralines. I mean,
Yeah,
don't you
I
say
love
pralines
praline.
are
No,
too sweet. Don't
no.
you diss pralines?
No, I'm not.
No, milk cake is good. It's rich.
Yeah, it's rich.
It's creamy.
It's creamy.
I swear sugar's in it.
It's
Yeah, sugar's in it.
Yeah,
or the milk becomes sugar.
no. Well, I mean, they put sugar in it.
They put sugar in it. It just sounded like you said another S word.
No, no.
But
no.
you said sugar,
Sugar.
not
Yeah,
S-H-I,
exactly.
Yeah. So question, what is burfi? Because you said you were craving milk cake or burfi. What's burfi?
Burfi is the same thing.
Oh, the same thing. So why is
No,
it?
no, not the same thing. But
Burfi's the
it's,
same thing as milk
I don't
cake?
know exactly what goes into burfi, but
What's the difference?
it's much harder than
Yes, it's more like a praline almost,
Yeah,
but it's
almost,
thicker
yeah.
than a praline,
Thicker than a
and
praline.
harder, and more
yeah.
caramelized and
Caramelized.
darker, right?
Yeah.
I can describe your Indian food better than you can.
I know.
Hello. What else? What is kulfi? Is the ice cream, right? I like pistachio kulfi,
Yeah,
right?
kulfi is ice cream.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we go to Little India in Jersey City, which is not that far. And getting out at 8 o'clock at night, unless we're working or have like a festival or something to go to. Well, we went to festivals and whatnot before the pandemic, and now we are just little hermits. But we got out late for us, 8 o'clock, and we booked it over to Little India. And I'm like, Harry, it's dark and there's Christmas lights everywhere. Because we had never been out at dark. It was like a celebration. And we just sat on the sidewalk at a sidewalk cafe, little patisserie, if you will, an Indian pastry shop. I mean, I just said it in French, which made no sense. And we just beasted on milk cake and burfi and kulfi, and we brought some back for Mama.
Right.
And yeah, that was really fun.
Yes, it was.
And another fun memory I have back in my hood of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, we were down in Baton Rouge for when my dad had to get his toe cut off when he, for the diabetic incident. What else do you call it? A couple years ago. And Harry, we had taken him several years before to Café du Monde in New Orleans. And while I like Café du Monde, I like Coffee Call in the Baton Rouge much better because it's calmer. It's more of like a local, it's not a hole in the wall by any means, but it's more of like a local place, whereas Café du Monde is wonderful, but it's very saturated.
But it wasn't, Cafe Call.
Coffee Call.
Coffee Call. It wasn't a tourist attraction.
No, not at all.
So
I took Harry there. One day we were supposed to meet my dad at the hospital. I mean, mind you, all of y'all listening who have been caregivers for people in the hospital know that it can grate on you. You want to stay there 24/7 and you're going nuts and you're just trying to make sure your loved one is feeling better and you're dealing with doctors and nurses and it's just insanity and you kind of need a moment for yourself. And one morning I said, Harry, we have like an hour and 15 minutes. I said, we have enough time to drive down to Coffee Call, go get you some, cafe au lait and beignets and come back. So we did, and we were all hyped up on sugar and coffee because we don't really do caffeine or sugar that much. Yeah, and hey, we're in bed by 8 o'clock. Yeah. We're a real party. But that was so much fun being able to take you to my motherland, to be able to do that and to have a moment, of chillness before the storm. The storm happened and then Bob is now better. Bob will be a special guest one day soon.
Yes.
And I think one more thing, because I like to do 3 things in threes, another food memory to tie it into my other motherland in North Carolina when we were there for the film festival. And I think it's one of the best I don't like the word meals, dinners, early dinners, if you will, that we ever ate together. Was that one of my favorite places, Mama and I's favorite place that you now love, Micah's. You remember what we had?
Catfish.
Catfish and fish and grits.
Fish and grits.
And grits. And the first time I ever tried shrimp and grits was actually back in North Carolina as well. One of our great friends, Bob, he was a chef, and he was talking about shrimp and grits, and we're like, I don't know about this. He made it. It was awesome. So over 20-something years later, I get to go back to North Carolina for our film Shift was in the film festival, and we won an award. So shout out. Thank you so much, Sukin. And we had fish and grits, and I had the blackened catfish, and Harry had, was it fried?
Fried.
But not like greasy.
No, it wasn't greasy at all.
And the fish was huge. Yep. And it was wonderful, and it wasn't super stringy, because I'm not, full disclosure, I'm not the biggest catfish fan because it can get stringy. And they also had collard greens with it.
Exactly.
And actually, for our Instagram friends, I will have to post a picture of it and be basic, because that was, I will remember that. I don't want to cry till the day I die. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to be able to share. Food is enjoyment and sharing with others. And it's just pretty cool that you and I have such a strong attachment, but a healthy attachment to food. And we just both happen to be from 2 places that have some wonderful food, meaning Northern India and South Louisiana, by way of North Carolina, and New York, New Jersey. Actually, all those places I mentioned have pretty darn good food. Right. But I want to thank my boyfriend, Harry, for so graciously coming on and being in the spotlight.
Thank you for having me on your podcast.
You're welcome. Yeah. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Harry, do you want to say one more thing before you sign off?
Thank you for all listening. And stay in touch with Brooke's podcast all the time, every week, for a new episode.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
He said it. And if y'all heard a little pat while he was talking, he's kind of patting my arm, patting my shoulder. Clearly, Harry doesn't do much voiceover, but that's okay. We're learning. All right. Well, thank you so much again, everyone, for listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for listening, y'all. It is my hope to inspire, uplift, and entertain you with this Who's Dat Fat Girl podcast. So, if you're hungry for more, you can book me to speak or perform my solo show that inspired this podcast, Fat Girl Costumes, written by yours truly and directed by Brian Lady at your virtual or in-person event. Please visit brookehoover.com/fluffybuttproductions or email me at contactbrookhoover@gmail.com for more info. And let's follow each other on Instagram. I'm at Brooke Hoover, and the O's in my name are not the letter O, they're zeros. Not because I want to be a size 0, but because I guess I'm just so clever with my late 90s Yahoo self. And if you like this podcast, which I really hope you do, please give me a 5-star rating and write a review on Apple Podcasts. And most importantly, share this with your friends, family, and other people you may know who are as fat as we are. That's fat with a PH.